going to talk about communicative language teaching approach, or better known CLT approach. Let's start. Communicative language teaching CLT. Background. In 1960, the communicative language teaching approach in British language teaching tradition be found in the change of this era. In British approach to teaching English, the situational language represented the major approach because it is considered as a foreign language. Here, the language was taught by practicing basic structures in meaningful situations based on activities. Also, the autolingualism was rejected in usage in the linguistic theory. American and British proponents as an approach that aims to. The first one is make communicative competence the goal of language teaching, and the second one is develop procedures for the teaching of the four languages skills that acknowledge the interdependence of language and communication. CLT approach. This approach is starts from a theory of language as a communication. Also, the authentic and meaningful communication in CLT should be the goal of the classroom activities. It's also considered a dimension of communication because the fluency involves interaction and integration of the different language skills. Success, failure, trial, error, it's part of a teaching in which individuals create a creative construction. As mentioned above, the aims or goals of language teaching are grammatical competence and communicative competence. Grammatical competence is considered a knowledge of grammar, lexics, morphology, syntax, and semantics. Also, it's a knowledge of language that accounts for our ability to produce sentences in a grammar. Communicative competence is considered in what speakers need to know in order to be communicatively competent in a speech community. Also, it's knowing how to use language for a range of different purposes and functions. In CLG, the teacher's role is very important. So, teachers has two main roles. The first one is to facilitate the communication process between individuals, including activities and text. The second one is to act as an independent participant in a learning teaching group. Students' role. Here in the classroom, learners need to participate, interact each other based on cooperative learning. Also, the activities given by the teachers, learners had to become comfortable and work in a group, in pairs, or individually. Communication can be divided in two categories. Learning skills. The four skills of language are set as four capabilities that allow an individual to comprehend and produce spoken language for proper and effective internal communication. These skills are impact, reading, listening, output, speaking, writing. There are the most important communicative skills. For example, listening impact provides learners with the different types of knowledge required for language learning, like phonology, grammar, vocabulary, among others. Also, reading is another major source of impact. Good readers who have developed a sound knowledge are also successful writers and speakers. In conclusion, communicative language teaching approach helps students to be self-managed in their learning and to be active learners who are confident to express and to engage in the classroom.